Hello everyone, we are from EPPE3213 Set 2 and we are Group 8. Our topic today is the role of the foreign exchange market in international trade and finance. Our group members are Xu Jiahuan, Ma Zijun, Chen Panyu, Zhao Junbo, and Zhang Yuchen. This is our overview of our posters. Okay, now let's talk about the foreign exchange market. Something that sounds complex, but is actually closely connected to our daily lives and global business. Put simply, the foreign market is a global platform where different currencies are exchanged. Whether a company converts US dollar earned from exports into local currency, or a traveler swaps money for a trip abroad, this market makes it all possible. It not only supports currency conversation, but also helps business and investors manage risk from exchange rate swings, and keeps capital flowing smooth across borders. Today, we'll focus on two key points. Firstly, we'll explain how the foreign market works to support international trade and finance. Secondly, we'll explore practical ways that business and governments can tackle the challenges of exchange rate fluctuations. Our goal is to bridge the gap between how the foreign market functions in theories and how it affects real-world trade and finance outcomes. By the end, we hope this invisible market will feel a little more tangible and relevant to all of us.
Hello everyone, my name is Ma Zijun. My student number is A199255. Now I will present the theory and literature review section of our report. This part explains how the foreign exchange market works and how exchange rates affect international trade and finance. First, the foreign exchange market allows countries to exchange currencies for trade and investment. It helps set currency prices, provides enough liquidity, and allows firms and investors to manage exchange rate risk. There are several theories that explain how exchange rates are determined. Purchasing power parity explains exchange rates through differences in price levels between countries. Interest rates parity explains exchange rates through differences in interest rates. Asset markets theory sees exchange rates as asset prices that change based on expectations and financial conditions. Second, exchange rates affect international trade. When a currency depreciates, exports become cheaper and imports become more expensive, which can improve trade competitiveness. However, this effect is not immediate. This is called the J-curve effect, why the trade balance may get worse at first before it improves later. Third, exchange rates influence financial flows. If investors expect a currency to rise in value, they are more likely to invest in that country. However, high exchange rate volatility can cause investors to withdraw the money and increase financial risk, especially for companies with debt in foreign currencies. Finally, empirical studies show that different research in some countries, exchange rate volatility reduces trade, while in others the impact is small. Studies on Asian countries show that good exchange rate management helps keep trade stable and reduce risks from global economic shocks.
Hello everyone, my name is Chen Panyu. My student number is A19892. My report is data analysis and findings. The figure 1 shows the changes in Malaysia's trade balance in current US dollar from 2000 years to 2022 years. The figure 2 shows the official nominal exchange rate of Malaysia's ringgit against the US dollar for the same period. These two figures together provide an overall perspective for analyzing the relationship between exchange rate fluctuations and Malaysia's trade performance. Comparing the two charts, it can be found that there is a close relationship between exchange rate changes and Malaysia's trade balance, although this relationship is not strictly linear. In the mid-2000 years, against the background of the relative stability of ringgit and strong global demand, Malaysia's trade surplus has expanded significantly, indicating that the favorable external environment and export competitiveness have jointly promoted the improvement of trade performance. Hello everyone, my name is Chen Panyu. My student number is A19892. About the key findings, based on the analysis of Malaysia's exchange rate and trade balance, the following main conclusions can be drawn. First of all, Malaysia has maintained the trade surplus for a long term, highlighting the cooperation of international trade in its economic structure. Secondly, exchange rate fluctuations have an important impact on the trade performance, and the depreciation of local currency is usually accompanied by the improvement or stability of trade conditions. Thirdly, excessive exchange rate fluctuations may weaken the positive effects of devaluation by increasing the uncertainty of import and export enterprise. Overall, the research results shows that the foreign exchange market plays a key role in shaping Malaysia's international trade performance. Exchange rate adjustments can cause external shocks to certain extent, but its effect too often depends on a stable macroeconomic environment and good external demand conditions.
Hello everyone, my name is Zhao Junbo. My metric number is A206113. Let me introduce exchange rate in Malaysia. This study shows that Malaysia's exchange rate does not always help to reduce economic shocks. In theory, a floating exchange rate should adjust to external shocks and make the economy more stable. However, in Malaysia, exchange rate exchanges can sometimes make the situation worse. This is mainly because Malaysia is very open to trade the global finance market. When the currency depreciates, imports price rise quickly. This reduces people's real income and lower consumption and investment. At the same time, some companies still have debate in foreign currencies, so a weaker currency increases their financial burden. The results are also linked to basic exchange rate theories. In the short run, Malaysia's exchange rate often moves away from purchasing power parity because price change slowly. And short-term capital flows are important. Interest rate parities also does not full work because investor worries about risk and capital does not move freely in emerging markets. As a result, financial factors often have a big influence on exchange rate than trade factor. Although Malaysia's officials have a floating exchange rate system, the central bank often steps to control large changes in the exchange rate. This shows float phobia and means Malaysia's use a measurement floating system, while intervention helps reduce volatility and keep confidence. It also limited the freedom of monetary policy as explained by the impossible trinity. Overall, how well the exchange rate works depends on the structure of economy and careful government policy. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I will focus on the main findings, policy implications, and limitations of the study. First, the foreign exchange market is important because it allows countries and firms to trade using different currencies. Exchange rates affect prices and costs, so they influence trade and investment decisions. In Malaysia, a weaker ringgit often makes exports cheaper and can support trade. However, this effect is not always strong or long-lasting. This shows that exchange rates are only one factor. Other factors, such as global demand and domestic production, also matter. In terms of policy, effective exchange rate can reduce uncertainty but reduce flexibility. A free floating exchange rate allows adjustment but may cause large fluctuations. For Malaysia, a managed exchange rate system is more suitable, and firms should also pay more attention to exchange rate risk. And simple hedging tools can help reduce uncertainty. This study mainly uses overall data, so industry differences are not fully shown. Future research could focus on specific industries or use similar data. Overall, the foreign exchange market is important for Malaysia, but exchange rate changes alone do not explain everything. Thank you.
Okay, that's all for our group video. Thanks for listening and watching. Hope you can enjoy the video.